Community is the way we find our strength and share our hope. It's the way dinner on the table brings a family closer together. It's the way we make sure his first chapter book is the first step on his path to greatness. It's the way we rally in hard times and rise back up stronger than ever. United is the way we come together so everyone can thrive. Join us at unitedway.org.
This is Pod 5, the first fully immersive sleep system. Intelligent, adaptive, effortless. It doesn't replace your bed, it transforms it. Pod 5 listens and responds to your needs in real time, adjusting temperature, elevation, and sound while you sleep. Built to give you all-night comfort with an adaptive sleep surface that fits onto any mattress to personalize temperature, so you and your partner sleep just the way you like. Pod 5 features a new hydro-powered blanket that wraps you in full-body immersive temperature, giving you double the cooling and heating coverage. No more overheating, cold wake-ups, or blanket wars. Just deep, uninterrupted sleep. Plus, a base that lifts to automatically ease snoring, shifts to zero gravity for full body restoration, and now features integrated surround sound to help you fall asleep and stay asleep longer. Select how you would like to unwind, with white noise, nature sounds, or exclusive content from Dr. Andrew Huberman. And when morning comes, no jarring alarms, just warmth, a soft vibration, and gentle sounds, waking you when you're ready the way nature intended it to be. 3 elements, infinite personalizations, giving you exceptional sleep without exception. Contactless sensors in the pod track your heart rate, breathing, sleep stages, and more. And it uses artificial intelligence to go beyond just tracking. It learns from your data and optimizes your environment in real time to keep you in deep sleep for longer. The new Health Check is a breakthrough in passive preventative health. Without any wearables, the pod quietly monitors cardiovascular and respiratory health during sleep. Using clinical-grade precision, it leverages the hours that you spend on your bed to conduct a review of your health every night. Designed for anyone who won't settle for just okay sleep. This is Pod 5, the only way you should sleep.
GoDaddy Aero helps small business owners look like business-building brainiacs, even when they don't always know what they're doing. Here's how. Let's say you make the world's coolest tiny speakers, and you want to go big. Just type a prompt, and Aero gives you domain names hotter than a bass drop. Plus, it whips up a slick, customizable Coming Soon page. In seconds, you've got a professional online presence that's a surefire hit. From one place, you can access all the tools you need to grow your business. Aero gets smarter the more you use it and recommends what to tackle next. Your product might be tiny, but it deserves a massive spotlight. Just tell Aero what kind of logo you want and hit play. Love it. Aero helps you create a professional website fast. Check out how easy this is. Just a little bit of info here. Pick a style, and it's ready faster than you can say tiny speaker with arena stack sound. Oh yeah. Let's see another option. Ooh, that one. It can handle WordPress sites too. You call the shots, so if you want something different, just tell Aero. Wow, look at that. See that? Easy. Aero handles the fine print for you too. Check out how easy this is. And boom, it's done. Take that, lawyers. It even makes recommendations to improve your SEO, so your audience can find your site more easily. You don't have to know marketing to build your audience. Aero leverages deep knowledge of your business, industry, and market dynamics to execute a marketing plan customized for your business. It creates a full, pre-populated social media content calendar so your social plan never misses a beat. Aero even helps you create catchy social posts to fill up that calendar, helping you find the right tone, caption, and content. Can't find the right image for your post? All good. Aero helps create the perfect image from scratch without having to scroll through endless stock photos. See that? Easy. Plus, we're constantly creating even better ways to help your business grow, so you always look like you know what you're doing. And that should be music to your ears. Get started today at GoDaddy.com.
I got Lydia outside. We're gonna do some recording while I finish up my yard work and see if the new auto-tune vocal prep can help us to prep these vocals so that they actually fit for mixing, man.
Lipstick and eyelashes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Nope. Good afternoon, everyone. If we can ask you to please take your seats so we can start the program. If you can begin taking your seats, we'll go ahead and get our program started. Come on in, take a seat. Are we good here, Braden?
So I finally went to allstate.com. It was so easy to switch. My previous car insurance was hiking.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our event. Braden, are we ready? It is. Is it? Yep. Okay. Before we get things completely live, I want to give a big round of applause to Braden. He's going to be our producer this afternoon. In most cases, when we're doing a live broadcast or a podcast, I do producer/host roles, but that's too far to go today. So thank you, Braden, for doing this for us. So let me know when you're ready. Once again, welcome everyone to the 30th celebration of the Success Approach. I have to slow myself down when I say it, but I get so excited when I do say it, and Dr. Lynette laughs at me every time I try to say it fast. It just does not come out that way. So I always have to slow myself down, but it's hard to slow yourself down with an approach this potent, with something that's so fast-moving, with something that is so awesome, to watch it change the lives of others, but more importantly, give you back the lives of the people that you love. And so we're here today to celebrate 30 years of that love that goes into that approach with all of these wonderful people at the center. I know I'm going a little out of order, but I'd like to recognize those people who are working at Integration Treatment Center. If you guys could do a quick stand-up for me, please. Thank you so much. We wouldn't be where we are today without these bodies, right? But they're more than just bodies. It's their heart, their soul, their brains. They bring it all every single day. They go home tired, but it's a labor of love. And they wouldn't be there unless they did. I mean, the pay is helpful too, but the labor of love is there, right? We'd also like to ask for a round of applause for a man who helps to ensure our program has a happy and healthy home here on campus, here at the Center for Pastoral Leadership. Mr. Phil Gubin. Are you in the room, Phil? Are you nearby, Phil? We'll give him a round of applause anyway. He's the COO of the CPL. I get all the alphabet stuff today, which is fun. Phil and the Cleveland Catholic Diocese at large has been a beacon of support and source of validation for what Dr. Lynette sees as more of a ministry than a company. So thank you, Phil. Thank you for the Center for Pastoral Leadership. We really appreciate your dedication. We'd also like to recognize the following city officials and thank them for their support as well. We have Mayor Joe S.U.C.C.E.S.S of Wycliffe. Thank you. Mayor Annette Blackwell of Maple Heights is here today. Thank you for coming. Longtime friend and supporter of the S.U.C.C.E.S.S and Watilla family, Mayor Kirsten Holtzheimer-Gale of Euclid. Thank you for being here today. We have former First Lady of Bentleyville, Sheila Spramuli. Thank you. Oh, there you are back there, I see you. They're representing both the S.U.C.C.E.S.S family and retired mayor of Bentleyville, so thank you, Len Spramuli. But last but never least is Mr. John Watilla, the husband of Dr. Lynette, Councilman John Watilla. Thank you very much. We'd also like to thank and recognize and show our deepest appreciation for the following legislators from the House of Representatives and the Ohio Senate for their support and sincere interest in our work to help Ohio set the new gold standard for children and adults with autism. We have with us today Senator Casey Weinstein. Representative Dan Troy, District 23, which is right here. And then Darnell Brewer from District 22. I'm not quite sure if they're all here, but we'll keep clapping for them. But we have Senator Nikki Antonio, who gave us the senatorial proclamation for our work in autism. Senator Tom Patton. Representative Nick Santucci. Representative Bride Rose Sweeney. Representative Jamie Callender. Governor Mike DeWine and his regional rep, Lizzie Goodwin. And U.S. Congressman Dave Joyce from the 14th District, who gave us the United States Congressional Proclamation for our 30th anniversary. Thank you very much. Do we have any other dignitaries in the room that I might have missed? Oh, we are coming to you. Oh, don't worry about that. We got you coming. I got to do all the great people, and then Lynette really gets to do our main representative that we're celebrating today. But all of the leaders that you've heard mentioned today have paid attention to our work and are helping us to pave the way to better tomorrow for those touched by autism. And Dr. Lynette is now going to introduce to you one very special supporter from the Ohio Senate representing this very community here in Lake County. Dr. Lynette.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. As Rich said, all these legislators are helping us move the needle here in Ohio. But there's one legislator in attendance who we'd like to honor in a special way, Senator Jerry Serino. Please come up on the stage and receive a special award from our kids and our staff. Senator, from the time we first met during your tour of our program with your wife, Donna, you have lifted us up. From your endearing ways with our kids that you met, to the kudos to our staff and the suggestion to look into block grants so we could retain them, to your personal encouragement to me to stay the course and work towards our one big ask, you lift us up. Thank you for your tireless commitment to the institution of family, one of Ohio's most important natural resources, and to our work to help these families, autism teachers, therapists, and school administrators, and anyone who will listen, to truly understand and best serve children on all levels of the spectrum by implementing what we really understand and what they really need, which is a neurodevelopmental model through the S.U.C.C.E.S.S approach. So Senator Jerry Serino, please grace us with a few words and thank you for championing our cause. And I'd like to present before you speak this award that we have called the Successful Champion Award, presented today for your support of outstanding advocacy for autism best practice. Not just autism, but autism best practice. You're welcome. And all of our kids and staff signed the back for you because we love you dearly. Oh, wow. And we have a little stand. You can put that in your office somewhere and talk about House Bill 33 and House Bill 96 as much as you'd like. Thank you.
Great. Oh, my goodness. Well, thank you, Lynette, so very much. I'm very honored for this, to receive this. And of course, we all know that the real honor goes to all of the people on staff who make things happen here for these students. So you deserve the award, and you deserve all the recognition that we can possibly give to you. I do have to tell you that before I met Lynette, I didn't know the facility was here. I knew Borromeo was here because I've been around here for a long time, but I didn't know what was going on in that building. I didn't understand the particular model of treatment and therapy that Lynette is, and all of you and the staff actually initiate. It's a very different approach, and she took the time to educate me, and other legislators as well, so that we understood why this was different, because we get literally tens of thousands of requests for funding for various projects, and it's very difficult for us to sometimes tell whether one's good or not, whether it's the effective one, whether it's redundant with other programs, et cetera. But Lynette is a force to be reckoned with, as you all know, and yeah, she deserves a round of applause. Because she was not pushy. She was not, in a way that kind of bothers us, because we get a lot of that during the budget process. But she was consistent. She was looking to educate us, members of my staff and myself. And when she came in to do hearings, she presented herself extremely well, very professionally, and that makes a big difference. But she is definitely somebody who is like a dog who attaches to your leg. She will not let go until she gets what she's looking for. And I mean that in the most complimentary way. And that's why she serves this organization and everybody that you serve so well with what she's doing. I am delighted to have learned so much about this organization and what you do and your model. And she came to me, I'll close with this, she came to me maybe a year and a half ago and said, we'd like to take this model and move it out to other places, which I know we've done in Maple Heights, Mayor, right? And in Bedford, sorry. That's the whole point, is if it's a good program and it's a great process to go through and a good model for therapy, why would you keep it right here in Wickliffe or right here in Lake County? You should take it out to other places, okay? And just like in this last budget, I got $1.5 million for Cornerstone of Hope. Some of you may be familiar with that organization, and they deal with parents who have lost children, okay? It's an extremely good organization. They came to see me and they said, we want to take it out to other parts of the state and expand what we do, because there are grieving people elsewhere, not just here in Greater Cleveland. And so it's those kinds of programs that we want to look at and understand and really see how we can help move the dial. And I suspect we're not going to stop moving the dial here for autism success. And I'm sure she is not going to let us drop it. I just, such a great thing that you all are doing. So thank you for the recognition. I appreciate it very much. And I'd be very proud to keep this in my office. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. As I always say, it takes a village and each child is the mayor. But I want you all to know what drives us at the center. What drives us is the understanding that autism just doesn't need to be this hard. A lot of kids are struggling. They're struggling to wake. They're struggling to sleep. They're struggling to eat. The basic things that we do every day and take for granted. They struggle to get dressed. They struggle to know ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. And every staff member back there in the black t-shirt makes sure that they know how to do those things, because we understand the human condition, the lifespan, and how autism fits in. And it's very simple, folks. It's neurodevelopmental. So when we can get in there, we'll talk about this more in the podcast, but when we can get in there early on or even later on, we have a lot of adults we serve, and we change their brains through the field of occupational therapy, which is my background, and other services, they fire up the wire up. That's what happens. Their brains integrate. It's a joy to see. I see Christ in the eyes of every child I serve, and boy, when they light up, it is a spectacle. and they're on a normalcy track when they do, whatever that is, right? What is normal these days? But they get their neurodevelopmental trajectory turned around on the right track when we can fire up the wire up. And it can be any age. I always say if you have a brain, you can make changes. And the men and women in the back room help me do that every day. Thank you for your love and support of our kids and our families. And thank you to the greater community as well for helping these kids fire up their wire up and get going in life, because they deserve all that life has to give. So, Dr. Rich, I turn it back over to you.
Don't go far. Don't take mine. So I guess I should have started with that. My name is Dr. Richard Smith, and I'm on the board of Success for Autism. I'm an educator by trade, and let me just tell you how it is to work with Lynette. All right, so I was working on my doctoral. I needed to find a capstone project to work on, and Dr. Lynette and Ellen were having lunch at a picnic table as I was picking one of my lovelies up for the day. And I said, hey, have you thought about doing this parent training thing online? And Lynette says, well, how much is that going to cost? I said, well, I have a project that I have to work on for my doctoral capstone, so what if I made that my capstone? She goes, so are you saying free? And I said, yes, absolutely. I'll be doing. So I went into the trenches with Ellen and Lynette and really got a good flair. I mean, I kind of knew before, right, because we have two lovelies that have gone through the center. But it's amazing to watch the lives that are changed every day. Now, you're going to see this live podcast. Please stick around for that because it's something to behold. And let me just tell you that Dr. Lynn and I have way too much fun filming this sometimes that we have to cut out all the bloopers. Well, guess what, guys? You get the live show today, so you get bloopers and all. So enjoy those because I'm sure they'll happen. But the most important thing is when you watch us work together, we come from two different perspectives. We come from OT, we come from education. But it's amazing to see how it blends. Right, and how it comes together. And so you're going to hear a lot today about where we've been with the funding that we've received from the state of Ohio. You're going to see where we're headed, and it's really exciting stuff. And it really comes down to our educators. If we really want to make sure that our students have the best, we have to give them the best. And so that's what this funding is going to be helping us to do. So thank you very much for that. Well, we'd also like to recognize some people this afternoon from our planning committee. We have Lisa Welsh, who's also a board member. Thank you very much, Lisa, for your work today. Lisa Gallagher, where are you at, Lisa? Are you over there? Thank you so much. I still haven't figured out how to make sure I get the attention of the right Lisa when we're having these meetings, but it's been working so far. Aaron Drew, thank you very much for coordinating everything today. And Dara Holmes, thank you so much for all your work and getting everything all squared away. We also have some special volunteers that are on the list that. Here we go. I'd also like to recognize the Wattilla family, all right? The boys, Paul, Dominic, Adam, and John, we're gonna throw you in with the boys too. And we have Kathleen Pistotnik, who's been helping us. She was the person who checked in. You'll see a lot of people around, a lot of young people walking around today in black shirts, and they'll wear their fraternity shirts as well, but Sigma Phi Epsilon, Ohio Nu from Cleveland State University, thank you very much for your support today. I'm a very proud advisor of that group. They're a great group of guys. And then, of course, this next group I've been with for a while, and so it's the Knights of Columbus, Euclid Council 3164, so thank you very much. And speaking of the Knights of Columbus, Lynette, we have a little surprise for you today. So we have, as you'll see on the tables, we're trying to fund a mission. And that mission is to offer this parent training to as many people as we can. So we're raising some funds today for that, to offer them scholarships. What was important about that project that I told you about earlier was that it got parents to the approach without having to leave their home. It's hard to find care. Especially special care for those amazing people with autism. And so this program allowed it to thrive, and we want to get that program out to as many people as possible. So if you're a Venmo or a PayPal person, you want to make a slight donation today, please feel free to do so. And to kick things off, Lynette, we have a check to present from the Knights of Columbus for $1,000 to fund the mission. There you go.
so much, Rich. Appreciate all you guys.
We often say it's not a podcast episode unless you cry at least once. So we're going to get that lots today. So we're going to do the live recording here probably in about 20 minutes. There's food in the back. Go around, talk to each other. Please stick around. There's the founders room in the back. We have some activities as well. Yes? Oh, yes. And so what we would normally do is kick off the whole program with this, but we're going to kick off our podcast segment with asking one of our students, Brianne, if she will come up and sing the national anthem for us today. Okay.
I introduce to you Miss Brianna Farley.
Am I gonna sing this?
Yeah, does that work for you?
Sure, that works for me.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
Welcome.
One more time for Brianna Farley, everybody. One of our ITC students loves music, obviously, right? And also you're a runner-up for Lake County Idol, right, I believe? So one more time for Brianna Farley, everybody. All right, we're going to get set up for the podcast, get some food, and we look forward to having you for the show.
Thank you, Rich.
may think that an adult that can't stop watching the P word looks something like this, but this is what they really look like. This is me at age 21, and what I'm actually doing in this picture is lying to my wife and around 300 friends and family members, acting like a man of integrity while I hid my secret life of lust. This is me at age 23, and what I'm doing in this picture is lying to all my social media friends, showing how great my life is while on the inside I'm filled with guilt and shame about my secrets. Here's a picture at age 24 holding an executive position at an insurance brokerage, and I'm lying on stage to 800 plus of my coworkers about how successful I am. Meanwhile, inside I'm feeling like a moral failure because I'm living a double life. As a bonus, I call this one Liar on a Mission Trip, and I'm lying to the world, showing how charitable I am. You see, in all of these pictures, you see me with a smiling face, but on the inside, I was a broken husband, I was a broken father, I was a broken man. I built my entire life on a foundation of lies. Whenever the rain came and stress and challenges arose, my house collapsed on that foundation every single time. I tried multiple ways to quit with accountability and reading and studying more and praying more and accountability partners and apps and all these different things for over 17 years. 17 years of defeat and frustration shifted when I realized that the P word that I was trying to resist wasn't even my real problem. My real problem was these unwanted desires that kept dwelling up, and they were dwelling up from some deeper root issues that I was completely unaware of at that point. When I finally got over my pride and started to accept the fact that there were some more complex things going on inside of me, and I started peeling back the layers of these root problems, I realized that the P word was actually a solution that my brain came up with to cope with these deeper root problems that I needed to work through. After a process of identifying, understand, and healing these deeper root issues, I was finally able to enter a season of my life where I was able to build my life on a foundation of truth. Oh, and P.S., all the stuff that I heard about in this book, joy, peace, self-control, I finally started to experience for the first time that I can remember. So the real question is, how do you start to peel back the layers of your own onion? And there's really two options, either A, trial and error, or B, you can follow the process that's worked for over 4,000 other people. So if you want to learn how our root focus process works, every single one of the success stories that you're going to hear from started the exact same way. They all click the link somewhere on this page and register to watch the video where you're going to hear multiple stories from others who have used our 90-day process. And you're going to learn exactly how you can get down to the root of your own problem so that you can finally break out of this cycle of resisting and failing over and over again. So click the link somewhere on this page and register to watch the video right now. And even if you decide not to use our process, this video is going to help you gain a better understanding of why you have these unwanted desires, and it's going to give you clarity on what root issues are creating these unwanted desires in the first place. So click on the link somewhere on this page, register, and watch the video now, just like all of these people.
At the age of 10, I was exposed to pornography.
I was drinking every day. I'm smoking, and I'm addicted to porn and lust.
The big lie the devil sold me was, you'll be able to stop this when you're older.
Do you guys promise to never give up?
Kept telling my wife, there's gotta be more. There's something else out there. And lo and behold, Caroline says to me, I've been following this guy on Instagram, and she finally got the courage to reach out to you.
You guys all have a mission to change lives.
I'm actually experiencing Christ like at a whole new level. The feeling of that is unbelievable.
Individual potential to create a legacy.
Again, the way your program is set up, we are literally both on the same path at the same time.
It's a new marriage. I mean, our old marriage is dead. We're entering into a new, it's like the new temple.
I want you to know that your creator has called you to let your light shine.
A posting from you on Unchained Leader, and it was just telling me like, sign, this is it. Go into the program, man, just all of the shame, it was just all just like gone.
Within the first day, I felt the change. I shared with you, I've been through many programs. I've been through a lot of training. Like I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on training. And this is by far the most intentionally well-structured program that I've ever been through, ever.
The body scanner reveals the brutal truth about your body that your regular scale will never tell you. For weeks, my scale showed I wasn't losing weight despite diet and exercise. I was about to give up until I discovered the Hume Body Pod. This isn't just another smart scale. It's a complete body intelligence system used in over 12,000 health clinics worldwide, now available for your home. The moment I stepped on it and grabbed the handles, it sent safe electrical currents through my entire body, scanning and analyzing my arms, legs, and torso with 98% DEXA accuracy. What I discovered changed everything. While my weight hadn't changed, I'd actually lost 7 pounds of fat and gained 6 pounds of muscle. The Body Pod measured body fat, muscle mass, water, metabolic age, and 40 other metrics, showing me exactly how my body was responding to different diets, workouts, and routines. No more guesswork or frustrating plateaus, just precise data that showed me exactly where to focus my efforts. Because when you can truly measure everything, you can finally improve everything. That's why top doctors, dietitians, and elite athletes all swear by the Body Pod for accurate results. So I recommend you get your Body Pod now while they still have the special discount. That way, you can finally measure and improve the invisible changes your regular scale is hiding from you.
Coming up with a name by yourself can be daunting. Yes, you have your family and your friends to lean on, but now you have something else to lean on. GoDaddy Arrow. It can give you lists of names in many different styles.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's sexy.
Try it. Trust me, what was once difficult, what was once something that you were agonizing over, will now be a lot of fun. Before you know it, you'll have 10 choices that you can whittle down to 5, and then to 1. Be one.
Once you have your name, go to GoDaddy.com and activate your domain name so that your idea remains yours.
Can you please just hear me out?
No, all work management platforms are the same.
Monday.com is the one you'll actually love to use. It lets you set up your workflows yourself. No admin, no long approval process. You're in charge. Did you see the dashboards? They update in real time from your team's day to day, so you're always in control.
No freaking way. I don't have to put the data in myself?
Are you for real? Monday.com handles all the boring stuff, so you can focus on what really matters.
You know what? I'm ready to fall in love again. Thanks, Talking Llama.
You don't remember my name, do you?
Of course I do.
Monday.com, the first work platform you'll love to use.
Can you guys see her? Can anyone see Elsie?
One, two, check. 1, 2, check. 1, 2. Okay. Where did we lose her to? She drifted. All right. We lost the other co-host. What's that? I have the guest. I need a co-host. She walked out. All right, everybody, welcome back to the program. We're going to get started with the podcast in just a little bit, but before we do, we want to recognize Representative Dan Troy. If you'd like to come on up here for a minute or two.
Direct him that way so he can.
Come on up around this way. I'm going to switch spots with you.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh, there you go.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon. And I'm certainly happy to be here. I've been to your events before. I see we have a commendation from your 28th out there on the table and all that. But this is a milestone. This is 30 years. And Success for Autism. I'm proud that this facility and this program is in my house district here in Western Lake County. And, you know, we're also happy that we were able to actually get a little bit more money for you in the budget for this year compared to before. But I think the key word is success for autism. And I think I can speak for Senator Serino and Senator Smith that we certainly look for success when we make investments with taxpayers' dollars, and certainly this is so I'm just happy to present this commendation. The Ohio House of Representatives wants to recognize the work that you do on the 30th anniversary celebrated today, September 21st, 2025. And just read just one paragraph here. All those associated with Success for Autism, including its founder, Dr. Lynette S.U.C.C.E.S.S, are to be commended for their foresight, dedication, and selfless donation of time, energy, and ability far beyond what was required or expected. These fine people have earned the respect and admiration of many and have set an example of concerned and responsible citizenship that is worthy of emulation. Thus, with great pleasure, we congratulate Success for Autism on its record of service and extend best wishes for continued success. Congratulations. And 30. Good luck on 30 more great years.
Thank you. Amen.
Right.
Thank you. Put it with the others. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll get our podcast started in It's not been sponsored by Pepsi, so they don't get the logo placement for the product. Welcome, everyone, to the latest episode of Connect with Success, a podcast built around the success approach and the person who coined it, Dr. Lynette S.U.C.C.E.S.S. We have many special guests with us today as we celebrate not only the 30th anniversary of TSA, but our very first live broadcasts, right? That's right. That's right. I had them all hiding backstage. So thank you guys for joining us today. We're broadcasting from the beautiful Center for Pastoral Leadership here in the Diocese of Cleveland, which is home for our seminary here in Cleveland. So they have opened up this campus to house Integration's Treatment Center for over 2 decades now and provided this beautiful space to celebrate today. So we're very thankful for them. We're looking forward to sharing and learning and celebrating with you all today. We're also looking forward to taking this journey with you. So of course, we wouldn't be here without our very own Dr. Lynette, who is going to tell us some impactful news about the Success Approach, but we always start with a word of the day or a word of the episode as a focus for each episode. So Dr. Lynette, why don't you share with us what that focus is going to be today?
Sure. Hello, welcome everyone to Success for Autism and to Connect with Success podcast. The word that I chose for today, as you might know by our new logo that spells out the idea of fire up the wire up, is the word spark. So I was shopping in Target and got lost in the bowels of that amazing place, and I came across this and I thought, this is what the Success Approach to me sort of means in terms of what's happening in the heads of our kids. So firing up the wiring up is all about sparks. So we want to make a spark ignite in the brains of our kids, and spark is a noun as well, but I mean it as a verb. So that is our word today, spark.
All right. And so you're going to hear lots of spark today. We're going to take you on a journey of where we've been the last couple of years, really. It's been a while since we've done an episode because we've been really busy with an amazing project. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so we have this amazing thing called House Bill 33. We had a lot of legislative support, bipartisan legislative support, to help us get a line item in House Bill 33, which was the biennial budget. And with those monies that some of our very own state representatives and senators allowed us to bring to Governor DeWine to then sign into law, was to help teachers. We get that teachers need help to really bring to their programs what kids with autism need. And so we secured monies from the state to then turn around and pay our teachers, so that as we worked with a very, very special district, who you're going to hear from later, we brought to their occupational therapy team, their OT team, that's occupational therapy, their speech team, psychology, special ed staff, and paraprofessionals, the knowledge of the Success Approach, where they then learned and studied with us for the online program, which Dr. Rich helped bring to light through the Canvas program. And then I would go there and they would come to me for a number of months where they would apply what they learned on Canvas in that online program. And then the whole program culminated with them coming to the center right across the grounds here for summer to work in the trenches right alongside of us. So learning online, collaborating and mentoring in person, me there and them here, and then bringing them into the trenches for a good 8 weeks or so, maybe less, a little bit around there, really, really helped to get the Success Approach transferred from here, like Senator Serino said, out to where it belongs, where the kids are. And Bedford was the first very brave district that said yes. So we'll hear more about that later.
Yes, it was an amazing program to work on. But it did take a little bit of time for the podcast, so you'll hear from us more often now as we go into the future, and we'll talk about that later on too. But we're also going to talk about some advocacy help that we sought that was instrumental really in helping us to get this funding, to helping us to connect the dots, helping us connect the synapses.
Yes.
Yeah. She sent me this picture. For those of you in audio format, it's this ball that blinks, and she told me what she found in Target, and I asked if we were going to have to do a recon group to get you out of Target. I know that happens sometimes.
It's dangerous.
It is dangerous. You find all kinds of fun stuff in Target. But hang on tight, folks. We've got a great show for you, and in just a little bit, you're going to meet our pilot program folks. Welcome back to this next part of Connect with Success, a podcast all about autism and the amazing people that it serves. Before we get into our first guest, we did forget to mention one key thing, and that was we are definitely trying to get this out to others, right? Families who need it right away. And so if you're able to, today as we celebrate our 30th anniversary of the Success Approach, you can do PayPal, or Venmo, right? And you guys can donate that way. We've already raised almost $5,000, I believe, where we're at. So thank you so much for that. Our goal is $15,000 for our event today. But every little bit helps get this approach a little bit closer to the families that need it the most. So thank you. We have some amazing people here with us today.
Yes, my favorite people in the world.
Okay. And we have with us some folks from the Bedford School District who decided to, and I always say thank you for your yes when it comes time for vocation, right? Because you guys really took this pilot program. You said you were in need for something. But before we jump into that, why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
I'm Katie Pym. I'm a K-2 intervention specialist at Glendale Primary School in Bedford.
I'm Malek Debar. I am the RBT.
And I'm Marian Armstrong. I'm the supervisor of pupil personnel for Bedford City Schools.
Where to begin? Yeah, welcome to the show. What drew you to this program? What drew you to coming to find the Success Approach as a method to help you?
Well, timing is everything. So our superintendent, Dr. Johnson, is very forward-thinking, and she said that we need to create a program to complete our continuum of services for special needs students. And one of the things that we looked at is we did not have a program for students with severe autism. So she tasked me for creating a program, and literally about a week later, Lisa called me and said, listen, we've got this program that we'd like to partner with the school system, and I just said, timing is everything. So thank you, Lisa, for calling me, and the rest is history.
Yeah, you'll get to meet Lisa Welsh later on in the show because she's a big part of everything we do here for Success for Autism, but especially as we go into the future. So you get a chance to hear from Lisa later on. Thank you. So how would you describe your experience with autism prior to the pilot program?
For me, I'm an RBT, which stands for Registered Behavioral Tech. I've worked with children with autism in ABA therapy setting. So I did come with knowledge of autism and specifically ABA therapy, but I think I've learned a lot after being part of the program, things that I've not learned from ABA therapy, so I'm very grateful.
How about you, Katie?
I have been in like a self-contained special ed classroom for 11 years. 5 of those years I was an aide, and then 6 teaching. And not everybody with autism is the same, so I'm always open to finding more ways to reach our kids with autism, and it sounded like a good opportunity.
And most of my experience has been in high school, so anybody shorter than like 4 feet was very intimidating. And then we put autism on top of that, and I can say I probably learned the most out of all of our staff who's already come to us with such great experience, but I learned a lot.
So this program was interesting. It had 3 phases to it. The first one was learning about the Success Approach, how it works, how it operates, the different theories and practices behind it. Then there was some time where we went out into the trenches. Mostly you and your staff went out into the trenches.
Alyssa Billick.
Thank you, Alyssa. And for getting out there so you guys get some hands-on with your kids. And then the third phase was to come to the center, right, and to work. And there was something amazing that happened with that as well. Dr. Lynette, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, what happened at the end of our program was that the children in the BEAR program, you'll come to know that's the name of these kids in Bedford, the BEAR program kids, there was about 10 of them or so. And I just felt like for a lot of really legitimate reasons, we didn't give as much of an impact, like a big of a blow to the program at BEAR for 1,000 reasons. There was sometimes challenges with staff, or I was busy, or the kids were out sick. There was lots of reasons why I couldn't get the real big impact. So, like most things, I prayed about it, and all of a sudden it occurred to me that maybe those 10 kids, just maybe, should get a little short summer program at ITC. So I asked Marianne, what if we put those kids on a bus from Bedford and shipped them to Wycliffe for even just 8 or 9 days and did like a wham bam, get the success approach even more intense. And she said, well, how much is it gonna cost? And I said, nothing. Just, I don't know how much it costs to transport them, but I'm not gonna charge you anything, just bring them. Like, we owe it to these kids. And they showed up, and talk about sparks. I mean, you guys can speak to it because you lived it. And my staff got to just engulf these kids and really help them every minute of every day. It was only 8 or 9 days, and they made amazing gains in 8 days. And that's just the potency of the success approach. It really can change brains like now. And so that's a good thing from what I saw. I think you guys lived it, so we're open to your input as well.
Yeah, what were some of your biggest takeaways from being part of the pilot program?
I really liked it. I liked being, there in person, experiencing like your center per se, like setting. I like that you guys had different rooms for specific, like specific spaces for specific purposes. I saw a lot of differences in our kids. I'm thinking of one kid in particular. He struggled with elopement, and I saw that his transitionings were going perfectly during like these days. We didn't have to like hold his hand at all times. He was standing by himself. He was expecting like to, what's coming next. It was amazing. And even with like little changes too in the schedule that had to like be done, he was okay with it. I want to say like even little things. I came from, again, an ABA background, so I know a lot of things, but then there's a lot of things that I don't know. For example, like an OT standpoint, you have to like have a 90 degree, sitting position, feet flat on the floor. I guess we never really looked at it per se in the ABA setting. We didn't really, pay too much attention to it, even though it's like, it's necessary, even though it's common sense, even though it's like, so I learned these things at ITC. I paid more close attention to it. I made sure like all of the work materials are directly in front of the kid that I'm working with, instead of like to the side, or how to like grab the child's attention. It was nice.
Yeah. I'm going to add something there, because you used the word elopement, and elopement is very common terminology to parents of kids with autism and those in the field, but it literally means fleeing. Our kids are elopement risks. That means that their feet take them where they're not supposed to be in relation to where they are supposed to be. And that is a number one reason why kids sometimes get hurt or, God forbid, killed. And they also have a schema, developmental experience, or an opportunity to practice over and over again, leaving instead of staying and coping. So that's a brainstem problem. That's a fight, flight, or fright problem. And so the occupational therapists come in and sort of quell their nervous systems, so they don't need to flight. We all need to flee if we're in danger, but walking into a room shouldn't be danger. Transitioning from classroom to classroom shouldn't be danger, but their nervous systems perceive it because they can't tolerate change. So we don't want kids who elope. It's dangerous. So when Malak says their elopement went down, it means that they were functional and stayed where they were supposed to stay. So even being in place is hard for our kids. And sometimes the repercussions are very dangerous if they're not in one place. The other thing you said is 90, 90, 90, which is the degrees it sounds like. And occupational therapists know that for a child's brain to be fully engaged and their eyes and hands ready to work, they're supposed to be at a table for work time, not playtime, of course, so that their hips, knees, and ankle are at 90, 90, 90 degrees, so that both hands are ready and both eyes are ready at midline to engage in work. But a lot of our kids are like this, or they're like this, or they're not even sitting. And so even just posturally, their bodies cannot possibly engage their brain in the attention process. So I point those things out because you use the most perfect terms, common sense, but it isn't really. It might be common sense, but it isn't common knowledge. So this is where occupational therapy, and I think Marion will speak to this later, of the importance of it in the districts. We know the brain and body, we've studied it, we understand how the brain is impacted by stimuli and as well as the motor challenges, and we can bring so much to the table if we're just invited into the classroom setting.
Thank you, yeah, that was perfect. I did want to add, actually, you know, I learned a lot about schema, too.
Schema, yeah.
Building schema, and that was something that I, you know, keep in my pocket wherever I go.
Kate, what about for you? What's been most impactful in your journey through TSA?
So I didn't get a lot of hands-on time in my personal classroom. I was brought on later. So a lot of what I saw and learned was at the center this summer. And I mean, so much. Everything what you guys were just saying, the schema is huge. Learning to slow down, not use as many words. In my classroom, I feel like I'm always talking and using a lot of words. So it really helped to, if they don't understand half the things coming out of my mouth, why am I saying them? Like breaking it down into smaller things. Patience, waiting for the response, waiting, counting to 10, that kind of stuff. Just really seeing how you run everything at the center has helped me so far this year in my classroom.
Good, great.
I've already taken some things and it's working, so.
Because that's what we say about the success approach, really. It's not just about students or learning, it's learning for life.
Yes.
Really it is, and you can apply it everywhere.
Right.
Lynette always jokes that you can use it on your husband, wife, or the dog, too. And I can say it's true.
Yes.
Yeah. We use it for, and I'm a teacher by trade, and I know that just employing some of those skills in my own classroom has exponentially changed my instruction. But it all comes down to one word that I'm going to have you talk a little bit about, and that's behavior.
Behavior.
This word that's misconstrued in the English dictionary, right?
Okay.
And so tell us a little bit about the viewpoint of TSA with behavior versus what we know behavior to be.
Okay. So first I'll start with what we know behavior to be. And some of you in the audience and those listening all over, by the way, shout out to Maria Lynette Wattila in Greece. We have an international streamer right now online. Love you, Maria. She's also an occupational therapist, so she knows exactly what I'm going to say about behavior. And that is that most of us think that behavior is reprimand. So, you know, we're shaking a finger saying, no, 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 stop, like we're correcting a child. And what we don't understand, and I always teach in my class, is that behavior really is nothing more or nothing less than a response to a stimulus. It's a response to a stimulus. So if the teacher says, who knows what 2 + 2 is, that's the stimulus. The child raises their hand, that's the behavior. It's a motor behavior, but it's a behavior. And so that's a very wonderful adaptive behavior. A lot of our kids don't have adaptive behaviors, they have maladaptive behaviors. And it's because some stimulus, usually internal to their bodies and brains, is winning over what the teacher is asking or what the friend is introducing or what the mommy wants the kid to do. And so behavior for us is a response to a stimulus. So discipline isn't this. Discipline at ITC and under the success approach model is defined by giving a child all the supports they need to do a task and then supporting them in doing it. That's discipline. Because anything else, if we're not giving them all the supports they need to perform a task, then we're setting them up to fail and come in lesser than our standard, and then we come in and discipline them because they didn't do something. So if I know that a child needs to regulate by moving their body and then coming down to a fine motor task for OT, then that's part of my experience with them and therapy with them, is to give them what they need through movement or swinging or jumping or being on a trampoline, and then coming to task to do the fine motor. If I didn't give that and the child comes to the table and breaks a pencil because they're frustrated, shame on me. Because I know that brain and that child need movement first before they come to task. That's a good example. You feed their nervous system what they need. Just much like you all took a cup of coffee this morning, those of you that are coffee drinkers, You regulated with caffeine before you did anything else. Some people won't even be talked to unless they have coffee. It regulates them so much. So put that on a grander scale and apply it to autism, and you'll understand that behavior is just a response to a stimulus, and it's up to us to know that, to respect that, and to feed them what they need before we expect anything of them. And then behavior doesn't even start. Voila.
Yeah, and that's all part of this ABC paradigm that we're working on for this next phase. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But it's all about perspective taking. I think instead of behavior, we look at perspective taking in terms of how can we be at their level to figure out where they're at, to help them out of where they're at so that they can learn. And we call that in the success approach, observing readiness.
Yes.
Right, making sure they're ready to receive the message before we even try to give it to them. And all of us are that way, right? Because if we're not ready to receive a message, why am I talking to you? It's like talking to the wall, right? So I know you guys experience that. It's changed your perspective, is right. So how has TSA changed your perspective in the way you do your work?
Well, I know that one thing Dr. Lynette taught me is we always say that we're child-centered, but what does that really mean? We had one young man who was constantly on the floor, stimming, just doing constantly spinning or whatever, and she taught me that he's never going to sit at the table right now. We have to meet him where he's at. We need to be child-centered. So she showed me to bring a TV tray and bring it to the floor and sit on the floor next to him and do the activities on the TV tray. And within about a month, we had him at the table. But to be truly child-centered is to really meet them where they're at and then scaffold them so that they can do what we need them to do.
That's right.
So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. You did it very well, I might add.
Any last minute takeaways you want to share with the group about how impactful HB 33 was, that funding from that was for this pilot program for you?
I can just say it created the framework for our BEAR program, and I've said this a million times. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We incorporated, the 30 minutes, the engagement, the standing on the wall between sessions, everything. Dr. Lynette came in with her team and basically built a framework up for our BEAR program that we're using today, and we've seen great successes in our kids, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you for saying yes.
I may add also preparing work ahead of time, making sure everything is ready because, free time equals behaviors, maladaptive behaviors. If the kid is not engaged, then they're engaging in other things like maladaptive behaviors. So I love that.
I think the one thing, we didn't really talk about it a lot, but the interdisciplinary, all the different transdisciplinary. I was close. All of the different people that go. It's not just me teaching the kids. It's my paraprofessional. It's the OT. It's speech. It's anybody in the building that you have to work together to really reach that child.
That's right.
Yeah, and TSA really does take that adage that it takes a village.
Yes.
Right, and in that village, you're looking at your psych, your OT, your speech, your special ed. I mean, it's all interwoven, and so it teaches you how to lower those silos, and you guys did a phenomenal job with that during this program. It was one of the best things to see because we know it works. I've seen Dr. Lynette work miracles. I've been lucky enough to join her on this journey, but to take that and try to replicate it somewhere else, thank you guys so much for that. You and your crew for that. Yes, that was amazing. Yeah. Anything else?
No, you nailed it. Thank you.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for listening. We'll be right back with our next segment right after this. Thank you for joining us again for this next segment for Connect with Success. I'm Dr. Richard Smith here with Dr. Lynette Scott-Swatilla. And where are we at in our tote board, Dr. Lynette?
You know, I'm not entirely sure without looking above me. And it looks like we are almost at $5,000. Is that right, Paul Watilla?
That's awesome. Nice job, everybody.
1 day's worth of work. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Well, and so let's talk about that. I mean, this is money that we're raising for families and scholarships here personally as we celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Success Approach, launching into the next 30 years and firing up the wire up, right? But this whole program that we just heard about from the amazing folks from Bedford, HB 33, it didn't just fall into our laps.
No.
Right. We weren't just graced by God with this money, although by the grace of God, we were able to get
That's
it.
right.
But we had an amazing partner. And so with us now on the stage is Becky Watts from G2G Consulting. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Great. So why don't you tell us a little bit about G2G?
Sure. Thank you. Again, I'm Becky Watts. I'm a vice president at G2G Consulting. G2G stands for Government to Growth. We are a government affairs consulting firm. We were founded in Cleveland about 18 years ago. I joined 17 years ago. So we have offices in Cleveland, Columbus, and Washington, D.C., and we do advocacy and lobbying work with nonprofits, with businesses, with national, with local, all different types of entities who are trying to conduct advocacy at generally at the state and federal levels of government, sometimes local as well.
And Lena, how do we find G2G?
A wonderful man named Paul Porosky, who is our accountant. Anyone who knows me and my family know that we do a lot of things because we're called to, not because they bring us riches, so to speak. And so as a result, Integrations Treatment Center has kind of struggled over the years. It's not been a place that's really been easy to run from a financial standpoint, let's put it that way. And so we trained accountants, and as we did, Paul said to me, "Why are you not making money?" And I said, "I don't know. I'm a therapist. What do I know about making money? I'm just called to do this, so I'm here." And he said, "Oh, you need some lobbying. The government needs to know about this. The state needs to know about this. You are a diamond in the rough. You are changing lives. This can't die when you die." And I'm like, "That's what I've been saying, but how do I do that?" And he said, "You need to call G2G. They're amazing advocates, and they will get you in contact with the right people in the right way. And if it's meant to be, things will happen." And things have happened, so it's meant to be.
So we got the information. I set up an appointment with Liz, and Liz is the founder.
Liz Powell is our
Liz
founder.
Powell, the founder,
correct.
right? And I was outside of a cafe in Kent that is a trailer car, right? And then as I'm talking to Liz, she's getting ready to tell me the main spiel, and then the train passes by as she's telling me that. And I'm just nodding my head because it was a video chat, and I'm like, I think I got most of what you were saying, but it was a funny interaction.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah. But it was great. It was like immediately I could see the light kind of inspire her and inspired us, and then we got connected with you.
Yeah.
So tell us about your experience with autism prior to working with us.
I had not had very much experience with autism at all. I have 3 children myself. One has a 504 plan in school, so I had some experience with working with speech and OT and the support system of the school and externally, but all disparately and so I didn't know a lot about autism before I came to work here, but once I started learning, everything that you have ever said very much resonates with me even just because of my experience with working with speech and OT and psych and special ed, just in different silos.
Yeah, I remember first meeting you, Becky, and you were helping us arrange a tour so we can meet some of the state representatives, the senators that were going to be coming in part of this ask that we were going to do for HB 33. And you were just kind of like on the tour with us.
Yes.
And then I think at this point, and if you saw any of the pictures from the slideshow, any of the ones with representatives, that was Becky. She was there. She was behind the camera getting all that footage.
Yes.
But I think she could honestly lead the tours now at this point in time.
Now you can.
Yeah.
Yes, I have been on many tours, and each time I learned so much about the success approach, and it's so fascinating to watch and be there for each elected official or their staff and the questions that they ask to learn more about it. And every time people walk away like, wow, how did I not know about this, in my backyard?
Yes, we get that a lot.
Yeah, and so it's been a really wonderful journey.
And I think when you're there, you see how different, like Katie Pym said, how different each child is.
Yes.
Very different. Autism looks very different. And so the success approach needs to be sort of individualized
Yes.
to meet their need. I always say it's like different recipes, they're all different ingredients, but you make your own recipe for this child, this adult, that adult, whatever it takes. And you saw that firsthand.
Yes, absolutely.
And so has this changed your perspective on advocacy now? In terms of, have other groups approached you, or have we inspired other groups to follow you guys?
Well, I would say one thing that's notable that was sort of referenced earlier today by some of our elected officials who are here is that Lynette is a very natural advocate. And she's so good at so many things, and advocacy is included in that. Her passion shines through, her devotion and her depth of knowledge shine through in every meeting, every interaction we have with a public official, and that has been the cornerstone of the work, I think the success of our advocacy. But, it also takes strategy and understanding who the players are and who who's making the decisions, who to talk to, how to present that information. As your state representative and state senator kind of referenced earlier in the day, they get lots of advocates coming to them on a daily basis, especially during the state operating budget process. And so to differentiate yourself, it takes strategy, but it takes very pointed, knowing how to give the little elevator pitch, sometimes on an elevator, about who you are, what you're doing, and the impact you're making, and why it's different, and why our public tax dollars should go to fund your work versus somebody else. So I'm not sure I answered that question.
No, it was great.
I went on a tangent.
I was going to say, I've learned as much from you as you might have learned from us, because just having someone to help you make those connections, again, going back to your spark, right? Making those connections and making it work, because we know what we want to do, but we don't always know what to say or how to make that known to other people. And so I implore you guys, if you have an advocacy need in your life, reach out to somebody for help, because they really do help you make those connections. You learn a lot along the way. The biggest one was wearing comfortable shoes, because we went to DC with Liz, Lisa and I was breathing heavy. We were moving. They were moving fast, but it was fun.
We tried to pack a lot in
yeah,
to make
it was
it
good.
worth your while. Yeah. Yeah.
But really, I mean, HB 33 wouldn't be what it was if it wasn't for the tireless help of you guys at G2G. It's easy to have the content when you have gorgeous content like the Success Approach, but to help it give it a speaker and to amplify that platform was invaluable. So thank you so much for that.
And to make the roadmap. G2G made a roadmap. And people who know us know that we're not very political people. I really didn't have any even understanding of the political process, but they literally held my hand to understand exactly what we needed to do and how we needed to do it. And the strategy was all concretized. One of my favorite verbs in the world is concretized, so that we get where we're going in a very systematic plan. I couldn't have done it without you, so thank you.
And I would just add to that, in addition to part of that roadmap, I want to kind of acknowledge the folks here. Part of what we did throughout this journey to date, has been to leverage the support of the community of folks impacted by Success for Autism and ITC, and you all wrote letters and reached out to your representatives and sent, shared with us support letters to then share with the public officials, and it made an impact. Your response to that call to action was impactful and made a difference in helping us secure that funding. So that was a big part of it. I want to thank everybody who's here today for that.
Money's important, but that power of the pen sometimes is just as powerful. Right?
Yep.
It's amazing. And I also wanted to point out too that if you notice the list of people that we thanked at the beginning of the program, it was bipartisan. This was not a party issue. Autism's not a party issue.
Nope.
It's a bipartisan effort, a clean effort by people helping people.
Yes, very bipartisan, and that's part of, I think, an important part of the strategy is talking to folks on both sides of the aisle, talking to legislators on the committees of jurisdiction over the budget, but also over education and higher ed and all the different sort of parts of government that are impacting those who are serving people with autism. So we really, laid that out in our roadmap initially, and sometimes one conversation leads you into a suggestion to talk to somebody else who perhaps has a child with autism or has some experience, and so a lot of connecting those dots is what ensued, and I think helped contribute to the success.
Well, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much, because it really helped us set a roadmap for the next 30 years of the Success approach. Set us up for success.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you once again, Becky Watts, for joining us.
It's been an honor to be a partner with you on this journey, so thank you. Thanks for having me.
She's family now, and to know us is to love us, right?
That's what we're not doing.
All right. Well, we'll be back. We've talked about where we've been. We've talked about how we got there, and our next segment is going to be about where we're going. So thank you. Stick around. All right, welcome back to Connect with Success, a podcast all about the success approach. And I'm here with the amazing Dr. Lynette Scott Swatilla, who is celebrating 30 years of the success approach.
Amazing. Doesn't feel that long.
Even more amazing because you're only 31.
How does that happen?
Yeah. I mean, talk about advanced for her age. I mean, this is amazing. All right, we're here for part 3. We've talked about where we've been and where we are, and now we're going to talk about where we're going, and we have some pretty amazing guests with us who are going to talk about just that. First, we have Lisa. Lisa, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Lisa Welsh, and first and foremost, I'm a mother to a child with autism. My son Henry was served here at ITC for 6 years, and he has since moved on, and now in a streamlined classroom and doing fantastic because of all of the wonderful strides and all of the skills that he learned here at ITC with the success approach. So it's hard to sit still knowing what has evolved with my son and not be able to go hand in hand with Dr. Lynette and Dr. Rich to engage with the community and make some strides, not only here at ITC, but help the world know what's happening and how we can make this more than an intervention treatment program in Wycliffe.
Right.
So
it's amazing. Well, welcome. And then we have Avi here with us. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Avi S.U.C.C.E.S.S, and first and foremost, for me as well, I have a son who's 16, Tan. He has autism, he's nonverbal, and we were blessed about, how long has it been already? I don't even know.
8 months maybe?
Yeah, I was about to say almost a year.
Yeah.
Being introduced to the success approach, and it has changed his life, our lives as a family, and now hopefully moving out into the world with my new program named Shemesh, which is Hebrew for sunshine, illuminating the path to success, to finally spread the word, because as I said to Dr. Lynette, where have you been? But the question really was, where have I been?
So let's talk about that a little bit more. So you've been inspired by the success approach to open up a center based on the success approach, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Back to where, as a mom, I would do anything to find answers for my son. Autism was always pretty much a nightmare, very, very hard. Going from program to program, model to model, and seeing a little bit of progress, but nothing lasting, nothing real. And every time it was just heartbreaking, and I always knew there was something more. There was that feeling inside, this just isn't right, there has to be something more. And I kept searching, there's no rock that was unturned. I just knew there was something else. And finally, I met somebody named Cheryl Klein, who is she is a retired principal from Broadmoor, and she said, I know exactly what you're looking for. And she said, someone named Dr. Lynette in Wycliffe, here's her number. And I said, Wycliffe, ITC, I never heard about this. I've been scouring the planet for a place for my son. And once we got in touch with Dr. Lynette, I think the first words she said to me was, it doesn't have to be so hard.
It's true.
And I think that's when I lost it, and I started to cry, because I knew I was in the right place. Because my son is a blessing, and it does come with challenges. But Dr. Lynette and Lisa have brought this ease and comfort and real-time, lasting help of success that I've never experienced before.
You hit upon something so potent, and that's the word hope. Lisa's talked about, her child. I've had 2 go through the program. You've got yours going through the program, and I think what you see the common thread here is the hope that TSA has been offering to families for 30 years. It's just so powerful. And so this has inspired you to kind of open this up bigger, right? So talk about your mission for your center.
Yes, my mission is to spread Dr. Lynette's legacy, because it's just too good to keep quiet. It's not even fair, honestly. So we've opened up, we just finished our 4th week, and Lisa has been amazing in supporting me, coaching me through this, because I would say to Lisa, I can't do this. She's like, yes, you can. My background is education, so I've taught 1st grade for 15 years until my son regressed into autism. So I always had a passion for teaching and helping children, and now I feel like God is saying, okay, take your passion for teaching, it's not lost, and your experience with autism, especially with the Success approach, mix it up into this beautiful recipe to help these children. And when these children come in, we have right now 4 altogether, including my son, and we are growing. There are people who are hearing about us and they're like, what is the Success approach? And pretty much it is believing in the child. For example, we're meeting them where they are, reaching the child, and then teaching. So, for example, with my son, he would be pacing back and forth. So Dr. Lynette's like, okay, he paces back and forth, let's get him to do purposeful movement. Since he has that pacing, we're gonna walk across the campus to the mailroom to pick up the mail and bring it all the way back. And along the way, Dr. Lynette was speaking to my son at his age level. And that also, I mean, I've just been crying along the way to see him rise up to the occasion, because someone's talking to me like I'm 16 and not like I'm deaf and stupid. You know, I'm a person who gets it and understands, and it's respect and it's understanding the child. And I have that on video, as you know, this is what the Success approach teaches me, get it all on video. He's walking with this huge box, and when it's too heavy, he puts it down, and Dr. Lynette's, I see that's heavy for you, we can take a break until you're ready to move on. And then he picks it up and moves on. It's that simple, but I've never experienced that before.
And in Katie's interview, when we did this prior to, you had mentioned that you're seeing yourself using different words in your classroom now, right? Instead of just saying, you can't do this or whatnot, you're saying, it's hard, I know. You're meeting them where they are. I just wanted to bring that up because you're speaking my language too, obviously, because you were a teacher. But there was something you said in your pre-interview that really caught my ear, and that was that the teacher comes when the student is ready.
Yeah, because when I say, where were you all my life? I was looking for 10 years, over a decade, but I wasn't ready. And this readiness that I'm speaking of, it's when I was ready to open up my mind and listen to something new. A lot of parents can't believe that there's something else out there. Yes. It has to be this, this, and this, and that's not the truth. And this readiness flows into the readiness of the child in the Success approach. They can't learn unless they're ready. So if I see that, you know, looking at something, and Dr. Lynette has taught us, I see her looking at that. I need you to come look over here, gently, you know, and to see where they are, see that they're ready, because then they'll have the awareness to be receptive to what we're presenting. And then it just follows like that, just so beautifully.
It's very linear, isn't it? And it's simple. It sounds, you know, like, oh, duh, but it really is hard to remember those things because, again, we're looking at putting down the suitcase in Tan's case as a behavior. Oh, he's being belligerent. He's stopping. He's being stubborn. It's like, no, remember, behavior is a response to a stimulus. So if the stimulus in his brain is, this is heavy, because his proprioceptive system that picks up weight and tension, right, in all of our joints and muscles, if that's firing to his brain, which it should, heavy, 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 yeah. Have you ever put a suitcase down at an airport because you're sick of walking with it? You do it naturally and no one calls you belligerent. You do it because you're informed by your sensory systems that your body needs something. So when you honor that, and we honor it by validating. So it's not, I mean, you can easily just let them do it and not say anything, but that joining, I'm not a teacher then, I'm not a therapist then, I'm a fellow human. That's what we really are. It doesn't matter if you're a mom, a teacher, a principal, a bus driver, it doesn't matter your background. You are a fellow human to that child, and therefore you're a partner in that existence right then and there. So you have to be a catalyst as a partner to kind of validate, because they don't get a lot of validation. No one's talking to Tom like he's 16, because we don't understand that he's in there like he's 16. It's not anybody's fault. It's just how the world is. We don't understand. And if people aren't communicating the way we are, we think that they aren't in there, but they are. They just can't express or communicate the same way that we do, but they're in there. And when you acknowledge and validate that by saying, wow, Todd, I think you need a break, it's pretty heavy. I'm sure it is hard to think, oh my gosh, thanks, Dr. Lynette, you're exactly right. How'd you know that? But he didn't say that. He just probably experienced that. And what a gift. That's free. But that's a great gift to give to a kid or an adult.
And sometimes it's because we try to take on the world in our response to things. We're so worried about ourselves and our children and then how the world's perceiving them.
Right.
And sometimes you just have to worry about that little pot of existence with you and your child to help them understand the world around them.
In the moment.
And let the world come as it may.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
the
gonna
world's
come
going to think
anyway.
what it's going to think anyway.
Yeah.
Right? And
Right.
so the TSA has taught me, at least, to worry about those things we can control and then put those things we can't control off to the side and then attack that list that we can't control one thing at a time. It makes it more manageable.
Yes, for everybody.
Well, good luck to you in the center. We're so
you.
excited. But it definitely leads us to, that's just not the only future thing we have going on. Lisa, we have some good news to announce to you guys here in the audience today, and that's we have another round of funding, yes?
Yes, we do. We were granted for House Bill 96. We have secured the funding to essentially move forward with our mission. The last round of funding, as we discussed, was with school districts with special education or special programs, special education programs. This round of funding is going to really look at the general education classrooms, really looking at where the children with autism that are not in those resource rooms, that are not in those programs, they're in general education classrooms, and what we're finding is that the general educators are not ready to receive those with autism because that's not what their training was.
Right.
Their training was in general education. So what does that mean for those children with autism that are in those general education classrooms?
You don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
Right? And so that's one of the things we say.
No fault to the teacher,
Right.
right? So what we're trying to do and what we are starting to build is that next round of what that program's going to look like. So we're really excited and we're really looking forward to continuing to partner with our community and finding the right fit programs to be able to pilot that in the next year.
So it's a new acronym called SERVICES, which stands for Special Education Relief via Integrated Classroom Education Strategies. So it's basically taking what the teachers already know and giving them a different lens to look at it so that they can meet the incidence in autism now is 1 in 31.
Yeah.
Correct, right?
Yes.
1 in 31. Started out 1 in 10,000 back in the 90s.
40 years ago,
40
when I
years
entered
ago.
the field, it was 1 in 40,000?
No, 1 in 10,000? I know.
1 in 10,000.
1 in 10,000. Yeah.
1 in 10,000. And it's now a 1 in 31, which my brainiac son Paul has figured out is 27,777% increase over 40 years. That's ridiculous. So while it's not an epidemic, it's been called that, but an epidemic is a disease process, right? This is not a disease. It might be epidemic proportions, because 1 in 10,000 compared to 1 in 31 over 40 years is pretty intense. And as Lisa's done some research, she's helped us know that it's a 10% predicted increase every year. So next year, it's going to be that much more prevalent. So we need to help our special ed teachers and that staff for sure, as well as general ed, because they didn't sign up for this. You're a general ed teacher, you go in, you think you're gonna have 30 kids, 1 on 30, you do your classrooms, and you have kids with autism. And you're not able to deliver the training that you've been given. So we know we have the tools, the success approach and this new service model will do that, but we need to bring it to them because attrition is real and they're leaving the field. We're losing our teachers, good teachers who dedicate their training and their funds and really a big part of their life to learn to do what they need to do. They're leaving the field. So we're here to help to retain all that because kids need us.
The first word of the acronym for success is strategic.
Yes.
And we did a retreat a little while ago. Lisa, do you want to talk about, it's not just by accident, as you always say, nothing's by accident, right? So it's not by accident that we came up with this next phase, but it's definitely something that's part of a bigger wheel.
Yes.
Yeah, so we had a retreat for our SFA board, and we had discussed what does that look like for strategic initiatives moving forward, right? Like, we want to make an impact, a splash everywhere, and how do we do that? Well, first, where are those with autism? Primarily in those resource rooms or those special programs. But now we're finding they are also obviously flooding into the general education classrooms. Well, also, children with autism don't remain children. They grow up and they become adults and they go into the workforce. And is the workforce ready for those with autism? What we're finding is no. So what we're planning on doing in the years to come with partnership with our community and other members, legislation, we really would like to take this model and evolve it into workplaces as well. How can we help make individuals with autism successful in their daily lives and being as successful and independent, and then also giving the tools to those in the businesses. They don't know what they don't know, right? Like, they want to have really great workers. They want to support them, but how do you do that? So really looking at years to come is how are we going to make a splash in more than schools? We're going to take it to the workforce too.
So hang on, folks, because there's more research to be done and there's more help on the way when it comes to TSA. So thank you both for your yes today. It was a pleasure having you on there. We're going to wrap things up here in just a minute.
It's amazing. I didn't know that part.
Nice job. Thank you. All right, we're back, and we're going to wrap up this potent episode. I would say it's probably my word for this episode would be potent. We've talked about where we've been and where we are and where we're headed, and that there's help on the way, that there's help for everybody that's out there.
And it's a team effort to deliver that help. And that's what we're seeing in the people that have partnered with us, whether they're legislative, local people, people in the trenches, parents, our families are so vital to really bringing this to where it needs to be at home with these kids too.
So where would you say, would you have imagined that you were going to be right here, right now, celebrating 30 years of the Success Approach 30 years ago?
No, not at all. What did I know about any of this back then? I was just a little OT that wanted to do what I thought I was called to do, which was do something special for people with autism, and met 1,000 people since then that had similar vision that have joined us on some level. And that one thing led to another, and here we are all these years later.
Yeah, it's impressive. If you've been keeping track, we've raised a little over $6,100 now for our scholarship program for families. So thank you for all of those who have donated today. There's still going to be lots of time even after the broadcast. Feel free to watch it back and scan those QR codes and figure out a way to donate if you can. But what we did learn today, even in the efficacy session with Becky, was that it's more than just money. It's just having the sheer force of will sometimes to get that message out there.
That's right. To have the stamina to, I always say, shout from the mountaintops, share your message. And when we're out there, even if we're not comfortable advocating or such, when we're at a store and a mom is struggling, or a dad is struggling, or an auntie or a babysitter is struggling with a child with autism, we have a choice what we do about that. And sometimes it's immediately defaults to a judgment choice. You cast judgment on the child or on the adult. And I just ask that you soften your perception, look through sensitive eyes as you're seeing some of those struggles. We have that in our power. And, offer help if you think that's something that is needed, or just stay silent, or, maybe head off somebody who's about to say something nasty and just exchange a glance like, back off. This mom needs some space or something, because it can be a struggle. It doesn't need to be this hard. The success approach helps be really not so hard at all when you get down to brass tacks about it. But people need common decency and human support, and that can come right from your heart, through your eyes, and through your body when you're out in the community. So be mindful.
And so 30 years you were going along and with this method. Did you think you'd have all this kind of support 30 years later? Like, this is crazy.
Well, no, but if I would have said, would you have support for anything I want to do, I would say yes, because not only is my family supportive, both the S.U.C.C.E.S.S and the Watillas, but I'm born into a Roman Catholic family where of service, you put yourself out there as service, and as you serve others, you join the community, and you have that opportunity to have a network of support. So it's come back to me, I think, because I put myself out there to receive, and that's the beauty of it.
So I think that's our takeaway for the episode, folks, is be the village.
Yeah.
Don't just be part of a village. Don't just watch a village happen, but be the village for someone today. Lend them that support. Lend them that opportunity of grace and dignity so that they can thrive together. All right. We want to thank everyone for joining us for this first ever live broadcast today. Especially, we have Sigma Phi Epsilon from Cleveland State University, who's been volunteering today. We have the Knights of Columbus. We have members of the Watilla family here with us as well. And then we have our friends from Integrations Treatment Center. Big hats off to the staff back there one more time, because you guys are awesome. And there's never a day you encounter them where there's not a smile accompanied, and despite their day. So we thank you guys so much for that. Whatever hardships you hide in there, we acknowledge and we thank you for it. So thank you guys once again, and congratulations, Lynette, and the S.U.C.C.E.S.S approach. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you.